Hey there, how you doing? In this video, we're going to go through all the major updates in version 3.8 of Ecamm Live. I'm making this really useful to you as well, so in the description below, we've listed out all the different items, the features that are coming up. You can actually click on it and go straight to that part of the video. Did you know you could do that? But don't go skipping ahead. It's more that you can come back if you want to see a particular part of this. So let's get into it. Now, for those of us on the new M1 chip, you'll be pleased to hear that Ecamm Live is now native to M1, which means things should run smoother and quicker, and it would take less strain on your processor. Now, this next one is relating to widgets, and I'm not a widget user, to be honest, but the new widgets now use Chromium instead of WebKit. The takeaway for me is that we can now export as WebM videos, which are a more compact video, and you can actually bring that in as a video animated overlay that now includes audio. Previously, you can bring a video into Ecamm and you can bring a video overlay, but that video overlay doesn't have audio attached to it. So I think this could be interesting if you've got an overlay with music attached to it or something like that. I'm reckoning that this will make a big difference to you, and now one file can come in instead of having to bring the video in and bring an audio track in separately. Let me know in the comments if this is one that you think you're going to be using. Maybe I'm missing out on something here. Talking of missing out, this next one is about LinkedIn Live integration, and I still can't get approved to be on LinkedIn. If you do have that, you'll notice that down here, in the same way that you can go out as a destination to Facebook or YouTube, LinkedIn is now in there. You need to log in your details, and if they're just not ready to accept you, you're going to get this warning here. So that is a big deal for those of you that are on LinkedIn Live. You no longer need to go out to a third-party plugin like Restream. It's actually being brought in here. So again, let me know how this is working. I'm really interested to hear from you how you're getting on with this. Who thinks they know what this next one is? No, it's not green screen. In the past, we have been using green screen, and we can pop up a screen like this behind us, click a button, and we're sitting on a beach. But if you need to have green in your shot, like a customer of mine who recently is doing flower displays, all of a sudden anything green becomes transparent. You can just see that plant over the corner there is flickering and going funny because it's green. Or maybe you've got a green uniform that you need to wear and it's just not an option to go changing. Well, you can see down here now in the camera effects, we've got green and we've got blue. But we didn't have a blue screen, so we went out and got one. Change it over to blue. Down in our settings here, we change from green to blue. Just this fade. And there you go. Same thing happens now with a blue background as happened with a green one. And notice that the plant back there is way more stable because it's not looking for any of that. Now, if you're seeing on there, I've got a strange thing going on in my eyes because on the screen in front of me is this lovely blue scene and it's reflecting back into my glasses, so there's a blue in there and it's making it transparent. If I change to something like this, it's totally gone. Okay, so blue screen will be a big deal to some of you. For most of you, if green isn't a part of your settings, you certainly don't need to go out and buy something new. But it's good to know that this is there. So a great little feature been added in, no doubt from people saying, my plant's gone transparent. And just to point out, for those of you that are going, but hang on a minute, what about the edges on that? This screen, yes, I really need to bring that in a bit closer. But do note down here, this mask edges that is pretty good at taking things to the edge for you. Alternatively, you can hit the zoom and you could just bring the whole thing in a bit closer if that helps out. Again, let me know in the comments if you think this could be good for you. Now we've got a few that are directly relating to overlays. The first one being text overlays. So down at the bottom of my overlays window here, I can hit text overlay. And if I want to just change up this coloring, let's go for an orange over here. What I can do now is adjust the corner radius of this. See how it's going? Previously it was only square. Now we can round off these edgings and we can put some margin to it as well. So if I wanted to put my name in and add that in, I've now got the ability to round that off a bit. Looks a bit nicer, right? So that's the first feature. Secondly, the fly-in has been updated. Previously, you could only fly in auto. And so if your text was on the left, it would have come in from the left side. If it was on the right, it would have come in from the right side. But now you can actually select which side you want this to fly in from. So when I come on to a new scene. It'll fly in now from that left side. If I want to set it to come in from the right, I can do that. So maybe in one scene, I've got something coming in from the left. In another one, I've got something coming in from the right. I can mix it up like this. Something else to note with overlays, whether it's an image or text, is we can now snap to the center. That was always there. So we get this blue line come down. We can now snap to the center vertically as well as horizontally. So while this isn't ideal for my name sitting here, if it were an image and you wanted to make sure you were bang in the center, it's another little update. Now again, with overlays, I work with people who are trying to bring in an image that they've got and it's just not the right shape and they end up with little strips down the side. For example, like this one, just grab this image here that was COVID related. And notice that when I bring this image in, I can't get rid of those edges there. And without needing to go off to another bit of software to resize it to 16:9, what I can now do with this one is either take it up to this top corner here and just drag it until it's covered the edge, and then I can just reposition it. So what it's doing, it's allowing me to take the image past the boundary of the window here. The other way to resize this, if you've got a magic mouse, you can just wipe your finger up and down this and it will zoom in and out. If you're on a trackpad, you can just do the pinch and zoom. If I was clever, I could do it like that. But you can see how this could be useful then now. That same feature of aligning it in the center, I could do that and then I can make sure that I am in the center as this zooms. Also, with being able to push things off the screen, maybe I've got an image that I need to bring in, but it's totally the wrong shape for me using here. Again, I can push that right out and bring that in and yeah, blimmin' awesome. Really excited about this. That definitely makes a big difference. And I've, as I say, I've worked with so many customers who bring an image in like this and it just doesn't sit on the page and I think, oh, it's a real shame that we're just catching the edge of your room there. So to be able to just blow this thing right up to fill the window it is huge. Another little feature is that now, it used to be we had to pull from this bottom right corner to resize things. It was a little bit of a pain if you were working with a logo at this corner and you had to keep pulling it out, resizing it. Now you can adjust this from any corner. Simple little things like this have made for some great updates. This one I didn't quite get when I saw in the list. We can actually drag in images from apps like Keynote. Here we go, I've just opened up Keynote down here. I just made some slides the other day because we were just comparing different softboxes. And so these are just sitting in my working area over here. I can actually click over here and drag it in. And look at that. I haven't had to export it from Keynote or anything like that. It's just pulled the image in as an overlay over the front here. And I can do the same thing and resize this if I want to. That's going to be a big plus for those of us that are using Keynote and things. You've got your slide there. You now don't have to save them all out individually. You can just drag those slides on and it will bring them in as different overlays. And if you're bringing in multiple overlays like this, let's just grab a few and drop them on. Set of overlays in here like this. I can do Control Shift and work through the arrows. And as you can see down the side there, it is now scrolling through those overlays and hiding and closing them in order. Next, 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 next. Let me scroll back. We're going to look in a minute at video overlays. I'm just going to drop one in here. So if I wanted to stay on screen here and be talking to you, I can stay here and I can go Control Shift and scroll through those overlays behind. So I love this. We're starting to get just some refinement, some fine tuning on all these little bits. This is becoming a great update and we haven't got to the big one yet, which we're holding on to at the end. Now, still with overlays, you might notice that down the bottom of here, I've got overlays for all scenes, overlays for current scene, and I've now got at the bottom, show in background. What does that mean? Well, previously, if we'd have gone to source and gone blank as our background, you would have nothing back there. which is a great way for doing a little demo or showing things if you didn't want your desktop and that behind it. But now in this background area, you can drag in images like this that will work as a background. So it would allow me, if I wanted to put something behind, maybe more like my wall there as a background. And if I wanted again to bring in a video overlay, I can resize this and position it in one place. I could bring in an image and put it somewhere else, and it just gives me a background and a frame in here to be able to work with. If I change this background image around, you can see that it's, yeah, it's just a nice way to work. So for me, again, I might choose this blue background as my background there. Now, one cool thing I think you can do with this is if I choose my normal video source here, come over to my camera effect, and back that zoom off a little bit, that background is in there. So whatever I chose to be my background is going to show up there behind my video. So I reckon this is a pretty neat way actually of very easily of dropping something in behind us and let it be a frame. Now that's not particularly exciting. If I were to go to somewhere like Snapper, they have backgrounds over here that are patterns. So maybe I like the idea of something like this. I can download this as a high-res PNG and drag it across to here, not onto the window, but under the show in backgrounds area. And there we go. We've got a funky background behind us now. How easy was that? You can do a video in the background as well, but just know that that video is constantly playing. And so if you're finding that things are overheating, your processor's getting a bit busy, it may well be that you've got that video playing in the background and you just need to back it off. Now, some of you will say to me, yeah, but that's not even because the wides are different to that. Not a problem. What I can do actually is come back to a blank source and bring in a video overlay. And note that if I change this to custom, which I'm going to show you in just a second, I need to hit that zoom back in. I can now position this and set this frame exactly how I want it. Let's just push it right up into that corner and bring it down here. There we go. Now that leads me on really nicely to the next one. Notice that it's a little bit of a pain having all these descriptions around here, and I can't quite get to pull that top corner because it says copied a new scene. Well, they've thought of that. Command and this little squiggle, I don't know what that is. Tell me in the comments if you want. I hit those two, boom, a clean screen. Same controls again to bring it all back, but that is really nice for letting me have a look and seeing exactly how this is going to work and be laid out. I think actually I'm just heading back into here. I might just get myself a nice, pretty simple plain background and make a bit of a frame here. If I download this one, let's have a look. Let's drag this into my backgrounds. Not bad. And now I can work away with this and just put this nice little, it's like a little fine picture frame around it. What do you think? And we better bring them back in because we'll be wondering where they've gone. So are you enjoying this? Hopefully you are. I told you this was a great update. Loads of little bits that you're just going to lose if you don't watch through this video. Now this next one is about customizable hotkeys for your scenes. What does that mean? Over here in your scenes window, you'll notice that down the side you got these little symbols. I just got a new scene that I made for coming on. And then we've just updated it while we've been going through this and added another scene in. And so maybe the first one here, I want to be able to go to easily. I want to just have a keyboard in front of me and know that I've got a set to go through for my live. And I want to just be able to allocate buttons 1 to 8. So I know that this first scene here, I want to be under number 1. So I can click on here, type hotkey, press number 1, and it's just allocated it to it. Next one down, I can hit again, and I don't even need to be in that scene. Type hotkey again, let's go to number 2. So now from whichever scene I'm in, if I press 1, I'm already in this scene. If I press 2, I go over to the next one, backwards, forwards. Okay, so it allows me to go through there if I want to and work that way. Now, one way we thought this could be really useful is on a Stream Deck. So instead of having to keep allocating this scene to Stream Deck every time, you could say to Stream Deck, I want this to be shortcut 1. And then as you change your scenes around, you know that button 1 is always going to be telling it to do a shortcut 1. The same is true with the Air Step that I reviewed recently, a pedal that allows you to have this on the floor and be able to have 5 controls that you can change between. The way that works, if you check out that video, is that you can allocate keystrokes to those buttons. So rather than changing around again every time, I just go, right, the first button will do a 1. The second button will do a 2. Now this next one I can't demonstrate without actually being live, but it's to do with the comments. And as you can see over there, if I've got a stack of comments that have come in at the side of me, I can actually favorite some comments, and all it will do is give me the option to have a little star down the side. And if I want to look down those comments and go, oh, let's come back to that one, I can just favorite it. And then later on, I can come over here and all those favorited ones will be showing and hide all the rest. Now that's great. Maybe if while a video's playing and I'm quietly behind the scenes watching through this, I can just favorite some. I could see that working. Actually, what I'm more excited about is the search facility that's in here. Maybe Bill comes on here and he says to me, I asked a question earlier and you've missed it. Well, I can go to the search and I can type in Bill and it will bring in any comments that use the word Bill, including the comment or the name of the person. Another way to do this, if we've got a very busy chat going on, might be to say to people, make sure you put question in front of your question, and then we can sort them all like that. So again, same thing will happen if I type question up here, then everything that has the word question in it will now list on here, and I'm missing all the others out. I think that's really cool. I'm looking forward to doing that in the next Ecamm Academy, because I know certainly on that first night we get swamped with comments, and it'll be a great way to be able to sort them out and actually get people educated to write the word question in, because they know that you're going to totally miss off anything that doesn't have the word question next to it. The next feature that I haven't had a chance to play with yet, but if you are going to YouTube and maybe you've experienced or you've heard people talking about having trolls come along and trash their live and they're putting comments up that you don't want to have on there, you now have the feature to be able to ban that commenter right here from your control panel. So in that comments area, I'm sure is where it appears, you will be able to click ban commenter, and that is a big deal. Bless them, I've sat talking to people who've said, oh, I just had someone who was just trolling my site. They were just throwing all these comments in. It was really distracting. Well, now you can go, give me a second, click, right, you've gone, no more coming from you. I love that. Now we're getting near the end. I've just got 2 more left. This next one has to do with interviewing. Again, I can't demonstrate it in this quick tutorial for you. Now, if you've got a guest on here on an interview, and if like me, you have a countdown at the start of your live, I've sometimes spoken with somebody and I've said, right, okay, we're about to go live in a minute. I'm going to have to hit the video and we've both just got to sit here quietly. It's a little bit awkward. Well, now that isn't going to be the case. While a video is playing and our microphones are muted, we will get a message pop up to say that this is not being broadcast, but we can still hear each other and still chat behind that video. Now you are going to still hear the music from that video, but hopefully you can speak over the top of it enough to just go, oh, look at that comment that just came in, or it's great to see we got so many people on already. You know, just, okay, here we go, got a few seconds left. It just allows you to keep that chat going. You don't have to do anything. By default, it will do that. So again, if you're into interviewing, and you've got a guest sitting waiting up front, this could be a really cool feature. And now the big one, preview mode. We can't see this come up. You'll look on your navigation here and you'll say, where's the preview mode? I can't see it. It only appears when you are actually on a live, or the way you can bring it in is if you go to record only, notice that now I can see down here preview mode. So what is this? Well, when I click on it, it now gives me another window. While I'm in record mode, it's called program up here. If I'm live, then it will show me that as the live one. So you can see right at the top, I've got preview mode and I've got what will be the live feed. Now I'm going to put this over here for now. So what does this mean? Well, that screen on the side there is what the audience are watching. And so maybe I'm actually at a point where I'm playing a video. So maybe I've got a video and we're publishing that and it's playing away over there. Well, I can actually come over here, and while that video is playing over there, I could be getting ready this next scene if I wanted to. Now, I don't recommend this, certainly not encouraging you to be not doing your prep and going through it at the last minute, but if you wanted to just make sure where you're sitting in the right place, or do you know that you're coming on to the right scene next, I can actually make changes over here to this if I want. And if I'm editing any other scene other than the live one, I don't have to save it. It will automatically make those changes. So let's come to something else here that wasn't the video that was playing. So this is our current scene over here. Maybe I want to play around with a scene over this side. Maybe I decide, whoop, oh no, I'm still in orange. I was meant to be in red for this one. Oh no, not that. Okay, I've now changed this to red instead of the orange. Now, if I want to, I can go back to live mode. This is what I would do. I click back to live mode, and nothing has changed on screen. That's still the live feed over there. But now when I click on this scene over here that we've just altered, in fact, I could press 1. And notice now that the change that I made in preview mode has now taken on over here. Now, when would you be able to do this? Maybe you've brought a speaker up and they're actually talking and you just wanted to make a little change down here and do something. Kind of don't want to be saying this because I'm a big advocate of you focusing on your guest if they're talking and not messing about with stuff like this. But maybe it's a pre-recorded video, maybe something else is going on, or like I say, just in that countdown video that's potentially playing at the start of your live, gives you a chance to just go, right, am I definitely sure I'm happy with all of these? So back in preview mode. So the other way of doing this would be, if I were in a scene over here and I publish it, so now we're in this scene over there. If I wanted to make changes to it, if I wanted to bring an image in and play with it and resize it, and I'm just really trying to keep ahead of you a little bit, then I can now say publish. And now the scene that I'm on here is published over there. Maybe I'm sharing my screen and I'm a little bit hesitant that, you're looking at that one over there at the minute and I'm thinking, right, while I'm just talking, let me just make sure I haven't got any private information on this. I can reposition this. I can set it all up. I can do my picture in picture. Okay, now I'm ready to share this and it comes over to you and I know that it's all ready to go. At any point when I want to come out of preview mode, I just say back to live mode. And now actually I don't need to keep this second window open because we're now working live and current, and changes that I make over here, you are actually seeing. So I think this has huge potential and I'm really interested to hear from you ways that you can use this, or ways that you're watching this now going, in my scenario, that would help me do this. Let me know please in the comments if you've got ideas for how this could work, or if you've got questions on how this could work. I think this is a very big feature and a big part of this rollout. It's been something we've been asking for a long time, to be able to work away on scenes that weren't the active one. So thank you, Ken and Glenn, for sorting that one out. I think more and more there'll be opportunity to work in that preview mode and go, oh yeah, I can do that. So they're all the updates in 3.8. But while I've got your attention, I just want to make sure you didn't miss a big one, something that I've been loving for a long time that came out December, and it's the video overlays. We touched on it earlier, camera overlays. I can click down here, and what it will do is bring my camera feed in like this. When I click the pencil, it asks me which camera I want to use. And what I love is this custom feature. So I can totally change this around on the fly and adjust it to fit on here. Now this is just one camera. So why don't we change this background over on here, source blank. Maybe we'll come to our funky background there. So I could set up a scene like this with me. I can bring in another camera overlay. And I can say in this one, I want it to be guest 2. And as you can see, I can totally change this formatting around We don't need to be sitting exactly the same side by side. Maybe I wanted guest 2 to sit there. And then I want to bring in another camera overlay. And this one is going to be guest 3. Now that one I didn't change to custom size. Let's bring it back in off the screen there. How cool is that? It keeps jumping on me. How cool is that though? That I can set all this up, and then as I'm bringing my guest in, so down here in interview mode, when my guest appears and I say, right, Bob, I'm going to allocate you to number 2. Julie, you're going to be number 3. And I've already got a scene made up like this, and it looks like something really clever and fancy that I've paid to get a frame for. And actually, no, I haven't. It's just my background and my video overlays. Maybe I decide that I want to be in a circle over here. Maybe I decide that I want mine to be sitting up here. I don't know. Lots of different ways you could play with this. And so it's very much like the picture in picture, but now I can be a lot more flexible with it and really drop it in over the top of any background. So even if previously you couldn't have had yourself with a picture in picture, well, now I can as a video overlay and bring that in. I'm not quite sure of the scenario where I would want to do that. So I love that one, and just wanted to roll you back, make sure you didn't miss that camera overlays. So that's probably it for now. This has gone on way longer than I was anticipating. Thank you to Ecamm for this great update. And I would just love to hear from you. You know, what of those particularly excites you? By all means, in the description, you can jump back and watch any of those clips again. But yeah, what are you going? Fantastic, really excited about that. Or maybe you're thinking, I'd really like to see this in the next update. Tell us in the comments again. Maybe put next time, can we have ... and we'll pass this through. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll get notifications every time we create a new video. And if you haven't already, please do go over and check out the rest of the Ecamm playlist. We've covered pretty much every part of Ecamm on here. Well, thanks so much. I'll see you in another video.